Healthy habits and healthy lifestyles are big. We all want to be healthy, happy, and wealthy, but we don't exactly know what is needed or required to do so. So today I'm going to share with you guys just several tips and tricks that I've learned that will help you live a healthier lifestyle, or at the very least know what some of the components of a healthy, happy lifestyle are. So stay tuned to the end, and as always, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button because we really need it. So let's talk healthy habits, healthy lifestyle choices. One, for sure, 100% is your diet. You have to eat in a healthy and balanced way. You want non-GMO, organic foods, whole foods, natural foods. You don't want processed foods. They're horrible for you. They pack this stuff with so many chemicals. It's just so unnatural. All the dyes, all of the, it's coming down, it's food that came down a conveyor belt. It's pumped up with chemicals. They've genetically altered the organism or the plant to make it, it's something a scientist came up with. Me, I like heirloom tomatoes. So I'm a gardener. I love to garden. I love to grow my own food. I'm a vegetarian 80% of the time. And I only grow heirloom varieties. I don't want a hybrid. I don't want something that was produced in a lab to increase shelf life or sugar content. I want what nature has provided. I want what God has created. I don't want what man created. Most of the things man make are no good. So diet is very important. It's your nutrition. It's how you nourish your body. I think of it as a machine. If you put, let's say a car, if you put grade A gasoline in your car, they say it lasts longer. The engine and everything in it is cleaner. It runs better. You get better fuel economy, and long term, it will last longer. Versus some junk gas that's got a little bit of sugar in it and a little bit of water, maybe some chopped up marshmallows, some leaf litter. You put that in the car. Yeah, of course, everything gets clogged up. And your car doesn't last very long at all. Your arteries and your heart, I read a study, it said this generation may be the only generation in American history that are raising children who will have a lower life expectancy of their parents and their grandparents. They say that 70% of the children who get cardiovascular studies done, they have clogged arteries by the age of 12. Not completely clogged, but 20 to 30% clogged arteries by the age of 12. That is pathetic. And it's because our schools are feeding them trash food. A lot of schools. There are some schools that do farm to table programs, literally. And God bless those people. But we're feeding them hot Cheetos and Doritos and ramen noodles and McDonald's and Arby's. They're eating cheeseburgers and all this trash. They're eating trash. I know somebody, he's a great friend of mine. I have a lot of respect for him. Though, he said, man, I was in the military and, I had this one sergeant and he was talking about nutrition and health and how, you've got to eat good, you've got to eat your vegetables, and all I eat is pizza and ice cream, and I can outperform all of them. And though I didn't say it because I respect my friend, yeah, maybe right now, in your early 20s, mid 20s, but wait till you get 30, 35, 40, and your body starts to fall apart, literally, because you didn't nurture it. You didn't provide it with the proper nutrition. Your body has to rebuild itself, and it needs the proper vitamins and nutrients to do that. And if you deprive your body of those vitamins and nutrients, of course, it will not be able to rebuild and regenerate properly, and your longevity will be extremely decreased. So one of the biggest lifestyle habits are a healthy, balanced, nutritious, natural diet. If you can take it from the ground to your plate, that's the best you can get. non-GMO organic. Don't spray it with pesticides. Don't buy a lab-produced, seed or seedling. Backyard garden to dinner table is the best you can get. And a balanced, healthy diet is something that will benefit you in so many ways. I've been eating organic non-GMO for a very long time. I'm 80% vegetarian. Every now and then I do get a craving for some type of meat, and I can't lie, I eat it. I'm working on my willpower. But just a balanced diet, a healthy diet. In the mornings now that I have learned this new information and incorporated it into my life, because that is what free thinkers do. Free thinkers don't get stuck on an idea and refuse to believe anything else. Free thinkers are always open-minded and receptive to new information. And after analyzing and fact-checking that new information, if it proves to be true, then you as a free thinker are obligated to, one, acknowledge that it is the truth, acknowledge that you were wrong, and implement the better way into your lifestyle or your thinking pattern. So for me, I used to not eat breakfast. Every day I would wake up, drink a cup of tea, drink a cup of coffee, go straight to work, and I would rarely eat lunch. And then when I got home at night, I would prepare me a nice, clean dinner, and after dinner, I would, enjoy some type of little dessert. And then throughout the night, I would snack, all the way till I went to bed. But the science that I've came across and the feedback I've received from some of my intelligent friends that I love so much, it's best to eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. So you give your body plenty of stuff to get started on so it can provide, you with your energy. A whole grain breakfast is what I have found so far that is supposed to be best. So me now, I've been doing steel cut rolled oats, of course, natural, non-GMO, organic. Everything that I will ever mention to you is non-GMO and organic. So I'm just gonna stop saying it every time because you already know. Rolled oats, and I just put water on them and soak them overnight. They turn into overnight oats. And that's a great thrifty tip. You don't have to buy overnight oats. You can buy regular oats and just season them up a bit. So I put nut butter in them. I put non-fat Greek yogurt in them, plain. I put maple syrup, or real, true, natural, raw maple syrup. I cut up a Granny Smith apple, put it in there. And I've been crunching up walnuts or pecans and putting them in there. And it is absolutely delicious. It's filling, it's nutritious, it's natural, it's healthy, it's what your body needs. For lunch, one of the reasons I stopped eating in the daytime is because I'm so tempted by I'm always driving around. That's my job. I drive around a lot, and I see all these places to eat, and I get hungry, and then I end up gorging myself or overeating. I've done my best to stop playing the video game, so I haven't really played that much. I'm trying to get into exercising, guys. If you have any tips for me on how to exercise more, please let me know. I really need to stay consistent, and I'm looking for a gym partner. The second part of a super healthy lifestyle and habits is we all get stressed. We all get a little overwhelmed sometimes, and we need a way to unwind. We need a way to de-stress. We need a way to be at peace and just clear our minds and just let all the negative emotions pass through us, so that we can come back and think about them and develop solutions in a healthier, more stable state of mind. So for me, meditation is great. So I just stop what I'm doing. And just so you know, prayer is a form of meditation. So when I say meditate, you can combine that with prayer. I meditate. I just take a moment, free my mind. I focus on gratitude. That's one of the main things I pray about. When I do pray, I say, God, the way I always start out is, God, I thank you for this. 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 I always try to show my gratitude before I begin to ask for things. But to put your mind state in a place of gratitude really helps me. I focus on, just some beautiful things. Like sometimes I just sit there and in my mind, I try to create the scenery of a lush jungle with a waterfall and beautiful birds flying by. And maybe a tiger friend of mine who I don't own him. He's not my pet. He's not my captive. He's just a friend. He lives in the jungle and he knows that on Wednesdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. I'll be at this spot meditating and he just comes to visit me. I paint those things in my mind. And it helps me. It helps me get away from the cruel, harsh realities of our daily existence. The second part of a super healthy lifestyle and habits is we all get stressed. We all get a little overwhelmed sometimes, and we need a way to unwind. We need a way to de-stress. We need a way to be at peace and just clear our minds and just let all the negative emotions pass through us so that we can come back and think about them and develop solutions in a healthier, more stable state of mind. So for me, meditation is great. So I just stop what I'm doing. And just so you know, prayer is a form of meditation. So when I say meditate, you can combine that with prayer. I meditate. I just take a moment, free my mind. I focus on gratitude. That's one of the main things I pray about. When I do pray, I say, God, the way I always start out is, God, I thank you for this. 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 I always try to show my gratitude before I begin to ask for things. But to put your mind state in a place of gratitude really helps me. I focus on, just some beautiful things. Like sometimes I just sit there and in my mind, I try to create the scenery of a lush jungle with a waterfall and beautiful birds flying by. And maybe a tiger friend of mine who I don't own him. He's not my pet. He's not my captive. He's just a friend. He lives in the jungle and he knows that on Wednesdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. I'll be at this spot meditating and he just comes to visit me. I paint those things in my mind. And it helps me. It helps me get away from the cruel, harsh realities of our daily existence. Another thing that I do to relieve stress, somebody introduced me to this last year, and oh my God, smooth jazz. There is some science about certain types of music, and I do believe that smooth jazz falls into this category, but it does something to your brain subconsciously, and it just helps the stress to just dissolve. It just goes away. So smooth jazz, meditating for a lot of people, exercise, developing a healthy way to relieve the stress. Sometimes in a work environment, sometimes in the family dynamic, you're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have times where you don't necessarily agree with the other person. Tempers run high. And I like to say, hey, I need to take a moment for myself to gather my thoughts. Can we please come back to this? I promise you, this evening or tomorrow morning, we can sit back we can come back to the table and we can discuss this, and I will have some much better insight and feedback to provide for you. And most people appreciate that, because once a person loses respect for you, or once you say something to a person, you can't take it back. It's very hard to earn respect back. It's very hard to earn trust back. And once a word is said, it can never be taken back. So before you blow a gasket, before you let the world melt, meditate, pray, go for a run, go for a walk, do some deep breathing exercises. That is part of a healthy lifestyle, because stress is a silent killer. It'll run your blood pressure up, which is a silent killer as well. And before you know it, you're stroked out, never to be seen again, dead in the grave. Another part of a healthy lifestyle would be to find a hobby that is truly fulfilling. It's truly satisfying. For me, Bonsai was a hobby that I found that truly helped me. I owe a lot to bonsai. I met some great people doing this art form, and I've tapped into a part of myself. I've always been artistic. I've always been a creative. And of course, I'm a naturalist. I'm an environmentalist. I love to garden. I care about the environment, and I love trees. And bonsai is a fusion of the two. And it has just been so meaningful. Practicing this art craft has taught me so much. It's taught me patience. It's taught me preparation. It's taught me how to be diligent, because some of these trees, you have to care for it like a child. It has to be fed, it has to be watered, it needs to be protected against disease, it needs to be protected against pests. It's just so meaningful to me. So hobbies are big. Of course, you know, there are healthy hobbies and there are unhealthy hobbies, but a hobby will help you, one, stay productive, but two, to free your mind. So it's also, in a way, another form of meditation, because when I'm working on these trees, I'm in a whole nother place. You know, I may be sitting on my front porch, but in my mind, I'm in bonsai heaven. Something that has been very, very helpful to me and has, you know, contributed a lot to my healthy lifestyle that I'm trying to develop, because by no means am I the perfect person. By no means am I the healthiest man in America, mentally, physically, or spiritually. Though I'm on the path, I am on the path to health and to being a whole being, to being a happy, healthy, wealthy man. And therapy has contributed a lot to that. I've heard it said, black men don't go to therapy. That's BS. And if more brothers went to therapy, there'd be less brothers in jail and less brothers in the grave. Just having someone to be vulnerable with, because all men aren't comfortable being vulnerable. Some men are only vulnerable with their partners, with their wives. Some men are never vulnerable at all. The American machismo is killing us. It's corrupting our soul. It's corrupting our hearts. So at least you can have a safe place where you know that the vulnerabilities you express, the insecurities you express, they won't leave that room. To have a safe place to get feedback and insight on those vulnerabilities and insecurities, because for some of us, we've been carrying this stuff around for years. We haven't told anybody. And it's nice to be able to get it off your chest. For me, I'm very open. I'm very candid. I will tell you the truth and not regret it and not hesitate. But for some people, that's hard. They're carrying deep, deep, dark secrets that they don't want anybody to know. They're ashamed of themselves. They're ashamed of what they've done. And they keep it balled up inside. But for me, it's freeing. It frees me when I am able to tell somebody my deepest, darkest secrets, my insecurities, my vulnerabilities. You know, I share them with my close friends. I really don't share them with family very often because I don't have a strong sense of family. I hope to build a healthy family of my own, but until then, I probably never will have a strong sense of family. But I do share them with my closest friends, and my friends are like my family. You know, I have a friend who I consider a brother. I have a friend who I consider a mother. So therapy is big, man. It can help you overcome some of these mental obstacles that you've been struggling with your whole life, and you always wished that you just had. So that's it. Several different ways, several parts, several components of a healthy lifestyle. And of course, there's many, many other things. But these are just some that have been big for me and super helpful to me. And I want to pass my knowledge down because I've been through a lot of struggle. I've been through many, many snares, and it's been a long, hard road. And if you all can learn some of the things that I learned along that way, just by watching this video, it was all worth it. I just want to make it where you guys can learn from my struggle and not get caught in those same snares. That's one of the missions of my life. That's one of the creeds of this channel. So guys, I appreciate you watching today. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, stay blessed, my people.